Hi all, today, the angels offer some great analogies on how and why we perceive things like vibration and how we can feel where we're heading before we see it. I'll share some stories about how I ripple the pond positively, in seemingly small ways, and how you can, too. Have a blessed and beautiful week, smiley face, and message from the angels. My dear friends, we love you so very much. You are energetic beings, having a physical experience. Your bodies translate the world of energy into your human sensory experience. Your science understands this. All that you see is your brain's interpretation of wavelengths. All that you hear is your brain's interpretation of sound waves. All that you taste is your body's interpretation of chemical interactions and signals. Each of your senses is a translator of energy. The brain, the gut, the skin, and even components of your body that you have yet to understand interpret the energies around you and give you what you call your physical experience. They also give you what you call your intuition. You are not as solid as you perceive yourself to be. Neither is anything in the world around you. It is only because you operate at the same wavelength as the things around you that everything and everyone in your world feels and appears solid. Here is a very simple analogy for your consideration. Most of you have seen a ceiling fan. When the fan is off or running very slowly, you can see all its blades, which appear quite physical. However, when the fan runs quickly and its blades rotate rapidly, they seem to blur. They don't appear as solid to your eyes as they did when they were stationary or rotating slowly. In fact, if they rotate fast enough while your eyes are fixed upon them, it seems that you can see through them. This is because they are moving at a higher frequency than you typically process with your vision. In the same fashion, you can move your hand slowly and see it quite well, but if you flap it up and down rapidly, suddenly it does not appear as solid. We, the angels, and all beings that reside in the non-physical realms are simply vibrating in a way that is more like your rapidly rotating ceiling fan. We exist in a frequency that is higher than your typical vision can process. Nonetheless, we, and your loved ones in spirit, are as real as that ceiling fan whether you can see us or not. We are here with you, next to you, or relating to you from a distance via the invisible energies that connect us all. This is why your focus is so important. When you focus on anything, real or imagined, you dial into the energy of that reality and begin to sense it. If you think of a lemon, you are tuning into the collection of energies that you call a lemon. Since your body is familiar with lemons, you may start to imagine the feel, taste, or scent of the lemon. If you focus on this long enough, due to vibrational law, like attracts like, you will draw actual lemons into your reality. Your tuning, via your focus, connects you with what you focus upon, starting with a connection in the realms of energy, a connection you cannot yet see. And although you cannot yet see the connection you form with your focus, you can feel it. You can focus on paying a bill, connecting with a loved one in spirit, finding a partner, or feeling better in your body, and you will immediately be dialing in to that unseen reality. You can focus on people who have more than enough, who easily connect, or who have perfect partners, and if you are happy for them, then you are still dialing in to the unseen reality you desire. You can feel it. If, however, you focus on the debt with disgust, on loss without an acknowledgement of the spirit, or on the unpleasant sensations in your body without anticipation of better, then you dial into those unseen realities in your future, and you are just recreating what you are experiencing already, in the here and now. When you say that faith is believing in things unseen, you truly mean that faith is knowing that as you focus on something you cannot yet see, you dial into that reality. If you believe in the blades on the ceiling fan even though they are whirling too fast to be seen, you would be guided to slow the fan down or speed up your vision, and then the reality of those blades would appear. If you believe in the reality of your own healing even before the higher vibrational reality of your healed condition is apparent, then you will be guided to slow down, listen to your healthy impulses, and allow the body to recalibrate to the higher frequency healed condition. If you believe in the reality of a love that is at a higher vibration than the one you currently live within, then you will be guided to slow down, enjoy your life, and let your vibration naturally rise to the love of life that attracts your perfect partner. Dear ones, the reason that your energy is far more important than your uninspired actions is that you cannot perceive a higher frequency reality from a lower frequency. You cannot see the blades on your swiftly moving fan unless your eyes swirl to match their frequency or you are on a device spinning as quickly. Nor can you perceive the guidance to your loving and inspired solutions in life unless you are in a frequency close enough to receive and perceive that guidance. Here is the good news. All heavenly guidance is broadcast on the frequency of love. You only have to find things in your life to love, and your loving feelings will tell you that you are connected with a loving and fulfilled future. In this space, you will perceive your guidance so easily. If you worry about money but distract yourself with pleasant, fulfilling moments of sitting outside and watching the clouds move across a beautiful sky, sensing the breeze, hearing the birds, and enjoying the spring air, you will feel good. In that good feeling space, you are connecting with a good feeling future. In that space, you have slowed down your actions, raised your vibration, and will perceive the guidance you need to make or allow more money. If you have a terrifying situation around you, such as a frightening neighbor, bad weather, or the like, and you find even the smallest thing to feel good about, a song to sing, a thought of kinder times, inspirational material to read, holding a hand with someone dear and focusing on the love, then you are dialed into a more secure reality and will receive your guidance to safety. You are energetic beings perceiving energy, emitting energy, and translating energy into a sensory experience. Your focus tunes your energy. Your feelings tell you exactly how the energies you are connecting with will feel as they manifest. You have time to adjust, and as you continue to do so, you create positive momentum toward a great feeling future. This is why, dear ones, so few of you have instant manifestation. You would not want it all the time. Until there is mental mastery, achieving a predominant focus on love most of the time, you have the gift of time to readjust your thoughts, shift your focus, and dial into the loving reality you desire. With practice, you do this more easily. With practice, your manifestations come more quickly. With surrender to love in any way you experience, you connect with the most loving reality possible and allow the miracles and dreams you truly desire to flow easily into your life. It is easier than you think, dear friends. Find reasons to feel good even when life offers reasons to feel bad, for never upon your earth has there been a shortage of love to be found. As you cultivate the habit of looking for the good, your feelings will reassure you that you connect to a very good reality and one that will manifest in your future. God bless you. We love you so very much. The Angel's message from Anne. Hi everyone, if my recent unveiling of the kale plant doesn't indicate the power of love, I don't know what is. As many of you read last week, I removed the winter frost cloth, a protective covering, to find a 1 or 2 feet tall kale plant with leaves growing from the leaves. Needless to say, I was cooking kale all week. I made a version of Indian khichdi with many veggies, kale included. I made pesto out of the kale leaves, blanched the stems to soften them, and threw them into the pesto along with my parsley stems. After adding some garlic, lemon juice, parmesan, walnuts, and olive oil, I had crazy green pesto, which turned out to be delicious. I even tried pickled kale stems, which are currently marinating in the brine. We shall see how that experiment works. The kale abundance stemmed, pun intended, from a lot of love I gave a scrawny little plant that barely survived our hot summer when I tucked him under his protective tent in late autumn. Likewise, I love my lemon tree, and she loves me right back. I've got people all over the country who love these lemons, and I'm still eating them. I'm going to experiment with making some lemon salad dressing tonight, then maybe some microwave lemon curd, then God knows what. Lemon soda? Today, I discovered what looked like weeds is actually an abundance of baby broccoli plants that came from a plant that got too hot to fruit, so it went to seed last year. I forgot to take it out, and it made babies, much to my delight. Nothing in my garden is orderly, yet the plants all get along and do their own thing. I love it. Vegetables and fruit hardly seem important compared to what is happening in our world or my own country right now. I know the world is stirred up, to say the least. But I also know that the positive focus on what gives me joy also puts a loving ripple in the pond. As the angels constantly remind me, fighting ignorance and focusing on ignorance attracts the very thing I do not want in my life. So better to focus on the abundance of vegetables, the kind people in the world, the folks doing good, and my creative work. As I work in the tiny garden, basking in veggie bliss, my mind wanders to a world where we live more in harmony with nature and one another in a peaceful flow. As I tune into this reality, I empower it. I receive guidance on how to become a part of it here and now. I may not change the world, but I do light up my own community in the simplest of ways, from sharing love with postal folks who got all happy when I made them lemon meringue pie to inspiring a crafter who has inspired me by sending her a fun box of supplies from the US, to sharing my crops with neighbors who lovingly help me when I'm in need. These are small things in the physical world, but the joy of pure love can ripple outward and affect lives in ways we cannot see on this earth. I have had the privilege of connecting with many of you on this list over the years. I hope that the love I put into this ripples into your heart and helps your life, which in turn ripples outward. This is a labor of love. It does take hours a week, but I feel good doing it, and I know that good comes to me from these good feelings. Good connections. A better world. I do what I can. So, never tell yourself that what you do is too small to impact your own life or the lives around you. The action itself may not be such a big deal, but if done with love, you will never know the ripples you put in the human pond. You can change or even save a life with a single act of kindness. Your random act of kindness might give one person faith in humanity. Your small donation might feed a person who otherwise would not eat or buy a bandage for someone who would otherwise die of infection. You never know the good you do, even in sharing seemingly small acts of love. And as you do things with love and focus on the good, your feelings tell you exactly where your life is aiming. When I get upset, I have a temporary venting session, then get over it and move back to love to avoid creating a negative mess. When I get sad, I have a good cry, hug myself, and move on so as not to find other things to depress myself. When I get frustrated, I let it out in private, then sit quietly and think about how loved we all are, and the solution comes. We have the capacity to feel where we're heading and, thank God, the time to correct our course if we do not like the way it feels. Smiley face. Here are a few pointers to help discern where you're heading and to course correct when necessary. 1. When you think about what you want, notice how you feel. If you think about something you want and feel joyous anticipation, you are dialed right into what you want. By virtue of vibrational law, it will come. You will be inspired when the time comes to act. You'll enjoy the journey right up to receiving what you want. Your good feelings tell you that you're headed for a good feeling reality. When you think of what you want and feel bad, that means you don't believe you can have it, and of course, that means you are connected with a reality where you won't have it unless you can shift your focus. This is why people who cry about loneliness never seem to find the perfect partner and people who say they always get sick do, and why if you mistrust people rather than trusting yourself, you'll attract people to mistrust. When your focus is based on an unpleasant feeling past or present, you feel the same as you do now and get more of the same. The way to course correct if you're doing this is to start looking for things, even unrelated to your goal, to feel good about. Make it a game. I call it flip my focus. The minute I start feeling bad, I look for something to appreciate and get silly appreciating it till I feel better. I do this constantly, and it has become a habit to look for things to appreciate and feel good about. 2. Make a list of your favorite things. Many of you have heard the song My Favorite Things in the classic movie The Sound of Music. The young lady singing talks about how she thinks of her favorite things when life is frightening or unpleasant, and then she feels better. Whether the songwriter knew it or not, they were tapped into vibrational law. It is a good practice to have a running list, even if only mental, of your favorite things that you can read when you are down to help pick yourself up once again. The things on your list don't have to be big. They just have to be thoughts that feel good. Here are a few on my list: friends and family and all of you, the taste and warmth of chai or rooibos or green or ginger or mint tea, the scent of morning coffee, the smell of fresh air after the rain, watching the plants grow, feeling the morning sun on my face, the moist grass beneath my feet, doing anything creative, juicing lemons, petting dogs, listening to birds sing, stretching, doing yoga, listening to beautiful music, running cool water over my hands, eating my homemade salsa by the bucket, smelling pine trees, feeling the breeze, etc. 3. Don't try to like the things you don't like. The angels have said this many times: bad food will not taste good. Bad behaviors will never feel good. Don't try to falsely like the things you don't. Don't focus on them trying to justify them. Don't spend hours trying to figure out the lessons if they are not obvious. Focus on something that feels better. It's not cheating, smiley face. This was a revelation to me. I used to think the angels wanted me to love everything in the human sense, but they just wanted me to love the light that lives within all and, for the sake of my own soul, to focus on things, people, and situations where the light is closer to the surface and easier to see. We can ultimately love the light within anyone or anything, no matter how deeply buried it is. I can see that beneath a person who is hateful to me, there is a child who didn't get their way with me, a child wounded in childhood and in need of compassion. I can offer compassion, but I choose not to focus on the unloving behavior. I can see the politicians hollering and fighting and witness the little kids within that are so passionate about whatever they believe, and so desperately wanting attention and acknowledgement. I can have compassion for the passion, pain, and angst of many in the world and yet remove my focus from their fight so as to empower the positive human values that we all want to see in our world. I'll leave the details about how those values come about to the Creator. I trust that I'll be guided to live and share these basic human values in ways that make a difference right here and now. I don't want to focus on the fight and attract a fight. I want to focus on the values and contribute to the embodiment of those values in our world. As I focus on what is better feeling, I create a better feeling now and a better future later, not only for myself but for all those who can benefit from my life as well. As we grant ourselves a softer focus on what is more easily lovable, we become naturally more loving and tolerant of all in this big world of contrast. It is an interesting thing to live straddling two paradigms of reality. I love the physical world with all its sensory delights. I also love knowing that when I accidentally create something unwanted, I can correct my focus and bring myself back to a better reality, one with a literal garden of earthy and spiritual delights. Have a blessed week. Love, Anne.